Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho.
And when you're down here with me,
You monster!
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Welcome back to Friday the 14th podcast. I am your
up,
host,
guys?
the bad guy, Nick H. Stage Silent.
And I'm your other host, the Mr. Fuentes. The Mr. is very audible. You hear it when you say Mr. Fuentes.
So is Fuente silent?
No, it's audible.
No, it's
as
not.
well.
Okay.
You can hear him.
Mm,
The F isn't silent. It's not into.
Fuentes. How's it going, Fuentes?
Pretty
Since
good.
the last
Chilling.
2 weeks or so, what was it? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Time flies when you're, working every day of your life.
Working every day of your life. Did you catch Spiral this? Well, not. I don't say this weekend, but last week.
No, I didn't. I know you and
Franco.
Franco reviewed it, and I found it pretty funny because I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I watched parts of it, but I saw the ratings that got posted, and this is one that Franco rated pretty high, and I was like, oh, Franco rated something
Oh.
high. He normally ranks everything so low. Yeah, so I was like, oh, this one, and then you ranked it at 3.5, and I was like, hold on, something's wrong here.
Something's wrong here.
But
It
yeah, I
might
mean,
be.
I do need to watch it and check it out.
I mean, it's a watch. Let's go to the theaters at I'll say that um, but don't go in with high hopes. Is what my advice.
Don't go in with high hopes.
Yeah,
Oh, that sucks. But I
but
mean,
today,
it's still good to watch in general, right?
it's still it's enjoyable watch. If you're a fan of Chris Rock or Samuel Jackson, who isn't a fan of Samuel motherfucking Jackson?
Or Chris Rock. I like that guy too.
Well, since we already brought Spiral, that was our last episode. You want to go back and tune in, hear that, or watch that if you've seen the movie. Watch the review. But today's review is a movie you chose, Fuentes.
Yeah, I did choose this movie, and yeah. So I chose Child's Play 3 out of the Chucky series. I mean, we know there's a lot of different Well, they're technically not all called Child's Play. If you want to get technical, I think this is actually the last one in the series of the trilogy. But then after that, you get a bunch of you can't really call them spin-offs because they're still about Chucky. So it's really hard to call something a spin-off when it has the same premise.
I would
But
say this was the last of the Andy Barkley story.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Child's Play 3.
3.
How do you feel about this one? Do you think it's going to be a good one to review?
A good one to review. Yeah, I mean, I have coming in better with comparing to previous movies I reviewed. This one should be a fun one.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it was directed by Jack Bender, and he was wow. It looks like he was the Game of Thrones director, or at least one of them, because I'm sure they had multiple directors. The producer for Lost. I can't see any. I'm trying to look for any notable things besides Chucky. No, this is. I mean, besides Game of Thrones, which is obviously a huge success. Um, Jack. This is Jack's direct movie. It has Andy Barkley, as we know him from the first Child's Play movie. De Silva. Really, you really just need to know Andy Barkley, Tyler, the little kid, and Chucky himself. Tyler was played by Jeremy Silver, Silver. Silvers. And Andy Barkley was played by Justin Wallen, which I don't think he's the same Andy, right? He's a different actor. Do you know?
Oh,
I
for
know
this
you know a lot
movie,
of.
no, they chose a different actor because I think that one's a little bit younger. And they wanted like a
Yeah,
big old time skip.
yeah. So this isn't the original Andy from the first one, but an older teenage Andy who's been
Yeah.
traumatized by Chucky, a lot of his life, and apparently his mom went insane or something. I don't know. Wow, is that a spoiler? I think that was a spoiler. We're
Oh,
in
you
the
already
spoiler
spoiled
free
it.
section. I
Okay,
know, right?
so let me we're going right to the synopsis, right? So I can go ahead and turn to this little title card right here. Spoiler free
Yeah. So,
synopsis.
basically, Chucky's back, and he wants revenge on Andy, and that leads him to a boarding slash military school where Chucky wreaks havoc. That's the synopsis.
That was a pretty short synopsis.
I mean, you can't really get much into it because that's pretty much all it is. Chucky wreaking havoc and trying to get
We can
revenge
have
on
it.
Andy. And yeah, there was a lot of I really don't know how to really explain it, but like I guess I'll explain it a little later. Um, as for my rating, you know, I was thinking about the rating for this movie, and I was reading some of the trivia on here. The guy who voiced Chucky, this is his least favorite Chucky movie. Um, what is it? The screenwriter, he said this is his least favorite of all the Chucky movies because he was pressured by Universal to come out with a part three fast, and this one actually came out 9 months after Child's Play 2 came out.
Mm.
So I mean, for a movie, to be honest, that is pretty fast for a whole nother movie to come out in a series. So yeah, this
They
was
got
kind of
busy. They made a baby.
yeah, right. I mean, they just 9 months. You're funny. But yeah, they this one's kind of a rush project, so I guess the people that were in the movie did enjoy it. But even with those comments, I came in here, well, not in here. I just had dinner, and while I was at dinner, I was like, okay, what am I going to rate this movie? Because I do genuinely enjoy the movie. I watched it, and I was like, dude, like this movie still kind of holds up to me. But at the same time, and so I wanted to give it a 4. But I think that half a star that I want to give it to make be a 4 is just nostalgia. So I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Mm. So I see we're back on track with the agreeing on the rating score. I'm going with the 3.5 machetes.
Lots of
Yeah,
3.5
yeah.
machetes as
But
well.
you almost had it with, so you're like, you could have given it a 4, but you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna be realistic about it. I'm gonna give it a 3.5, what it really is.
Yeah, and I had to be real, like, and that's what's hard too sometimes about these ratings is obviously these ratings that we give, they're our own opinions. You know,
Opinion.
I mean, I could give it that extra half a star and make it a 4 because it is a movie I would probably watch over and probably not really get bored from it. Um, but I know it's not a great movie. I know it's not the greatest of the Chucky movies either. If I'm gonna give Child's Play 3 a 4, then I'm giving like the first one a 5, and I can't realistically do that. So 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, like we do that. Well, I would say for myself, I would do that for a lot of reviews. I kind of do hold back on the actual rating and be the generous rating, which I mean, I feel like I should tone it down a bit. People, if people will actually care about the opinion. Um, but I mean, yeah, 3.5. I should have asked what Franco was gonna rate it. That being
Yeah,
said,
Franco's
about
supposed to be
Franco,
on here too, huh?
Franco was supposed to be on this, so sorry he's not here. You might be disappointed. It's just like I was promised a Franco. He was
I
gonna
know I
join
wanted to
him,
see that sexy beast.
but he had to go to work. He had to go into work, so no Franco.
If you know where Franco works, call them and tell them F you for making my favorite podcast host go to work today. I won't take offense. I know I'm really your favorite, but we can at least today pretend it's Franco and y'all can call his work and make complaints.
I was just gonna assume that he's gonna give like a 2.5,
Yeah, he's probably gonna give it a 2.
but he can come back.
He gives everything we like a low rating.
Come back for the next show, whatever episode he appears on. He's like, all right, but that was the rating, I guess. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what else I was gonna kind of say over that. Um, we're gonna go jump into the spoiler warning. Go check it out on Netflix. I'm trying to think of other services that streaming Child's Play. None comes to mind really.
Yeah, it was pretty much only Netflix that I saw. I think you could watch. Actually, I think you could watch all 3 of the movies right now on Netflix. Child's Play, Child's Play 2, and Child's Play 3. I think.
I,
I'm not
when I was
100%
scrolling,
sure.
well, I searched it up. It was appearing Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, I saw those too as well.
Yeah, there's a little nice little
Yeah.
Chucky binge there. So want to go into right favorite scenes, least favorite scenes.
All right. Well, I do have a couple. I have 2 favorite scenes for sure, and I don't know. Like, I can kind of get how they talked about how this movie was like rushed in a sense. Like, whenever I mean, I haven't watched Child's Play the first one in a long time either. Just like this movie. Honestly, growing up, I don't know why. For some reason, you always watch like 1 and 3, but you never watch 2 of something, or the opposite. You always watch Terminator 2, but you've only watched Terminator 1 like twice, but you've seen Terminator 2 like 12 times for some reason. Like, it's the same kind of thing with these movies. You either see Chucky, Child's Play the first one, or you see Child's Play 3, and for some reason 2 always gets missed. You just don't see it as often. So I've only seen 2 a few times, but I really don't remember what the synopsis was that movie was at all. But from the first one, what I do remember, I don't remember Chucky really being kind of a smartass like he was in this movie and having a lot of catchy one-liners. Um, this movie he had a lot of witty banter and a lot of one-liners and stuff like that were funny. But what 2 of my favorite, um, one of them is whenever he gets Andy. He just he sneaks into Andy's room and he slices like the back of his ankle or something, and Andy falls to the ground and he's just like, "Hey man," he's like, "It's your old boy Chucky. What's up?" And he's just like, ready to like, try to kill him. And he's like, "I know you're trying to get Tyler. I know you're trying to do that. Yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, man. Your boy Chucky's gonna be a bro." And I just like I just laughed so hard at that scene. Like, your boy Chucky's gonna be a bro. Um, that made me laugh so hard. Like, that one, and whenever they're playing hide and seek, and the girl's gonna put the lipstick on his face, and then he's trying to act like he's not alive. So they throw him on the desk, and when everyone leaves, he comes alive and he wipes his face, and he's just like, "This means war." Um, Besides that, I mean, a lot of the scenes that I've seen that were my favorites, like, even though the screenwriter didn't really like the movie too much, I honestly thought a lot of the kills were kind of creative in this movie. The way people died. Um, and I wouldn't say my least favorite scene would be this, but it'd be more of a like, I like the scene, but I really wish more would have happened. Is whenever when Chucky switched out all the bullets for the gun war thing, and everyone started, whenever the red team was shooting the blue team, in that whole scenario, like, I thought it was cool. Like, it was fucked up, but I thought it was cool that that's like what he did. I thought that was a really cool idea, that the screenwriter or the writer wrote into there. But I really thought more people should have died, besides the one guy. I mean, I thought it would have made it more kind of realistic and kind of more of a, I don't know. I guess to me that would have pushed Chucky up to like a top tier, like, killer. But since only one person died, it kind of seems like, oh well, he only killed one guy. If he would have killed like 5 of them kids, it would have been like, damn, Chucky like, nailed 5 of those kids. Like, fuck yeah. But yeah, I mean, besides what I just said, I mean, a lot of the kills I liked in general. Um, but yeah, go ahead with yours before I say all my favorites in there. I don't leave any
All the
for you.
favorites. Just to play it off of that scene that you mentioned. Um, I do believe that it could have been like crazier. Not only like if there's more kills from that like the red team, whatever, but when you see him change it out, you would assume that he was like it would have been cooler if he had yeah both teams have their guns like loaded up with the ammo, kill each other like
Yeah, and I think,
but
I thought about that. I was just like, why didn't he do it for both teams? But he only did it for the red team because the
he,
red team's paint splattered red. So if the red team would have shot someone from the blue team, everyone would have just thought it was paintball, when they splattered red. So, and then obviously, if a blue team shot you and you started bleeding red, it'd
yeah
be
but
pretty obvious that you got shot. Where the opposite way, it's not as obvious. I mean, that was my thinking for why he didn't. They really put some thought into that. I thought, for
yeah
them to not put it in both.
it makes sense with that like I mean yeah with that well go that direction but they were like playing like well they're gonna start the game like at nighttime or something like that. So it would have been
Yeah.
dark out. um Another scene that I liked was the dumpster truck scene.
Mhm.
Like he's about to drive off, and then Chucky's like, "Say hi, help!" I don't know what he was saying. Like he was deep in there, and then the guy just stops. He stops the thing so he can go over there and try to save him, and then freaking Chucky just gets out and just kills his ass.
So I have a question to ask you.
A
How come
question.
everyone knew how to operate a garbage truck? Chucky just knew what
That's
lever to pull, and then
that's
that kid comes and he gets in the thing and pulls the lever to undo it. I was like, dude, why does everyone know how to use a garbage truck? I don't get it.
just one of those things. And just one next thing just to throw out would be that um when Chucky initially just comes across Tyler and he's trying to take his soul, like not really shake soul, but take his body,
Hide the soul.
hide the soul. Yeah, he's just there, and then he gets interrupted. It's kind of funny that he
Yeah.
shows like, all right, new body, new it's like a reset, whatever, and he just shows Tyler.
Yeah, and what's so funny about that? It was just like they're like the screenwriter or the writer of the movie was just like, you know, we already made this rule that, the first person he tells his secret to, that's the body he has to go in. Because that was my question in the very beginning of the movie. I was like, he's like, I gotta find Andy so I can get out of this body. And then so he's looking for Andy. He finds where Andy's at, and he goes over there to Andy, and then he finds Tyler, and he's just like, new body, new rules. And it's just like, oh yeah. The screenwriter was just like, hey man, how are we gonna get around that loophole that you made in the first one where they can only new body, new
New
rules.
body.
And you're just
There,
like, oh shit, boy.
there's that scene whenever Tyler gets the package and he's supposed to give it to Andy, but he's going up the stairs and then he drops the he drops the box, and Chucky likes to play possum a lot, like be an actual doll. I could imagine whenever he was falling up the steps, it's like, oh shit. It's the way of course you don't hear him say anything, but I'm like him tumbling down the stairs, the box.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he felt that.
Oh
He was like,
yeah, there's the whenever the sergeant guy took away the Chucky from Tyler, and he was walking out and he bumped his head on the door. I was just like, man, he didn't say shit. He was just like, which makes me curious to like how Chucky's powers work. Like, can Chucky make himself numb like a doll? So like he can't feel any pain, but then
hmm.
the downside to that is he can't do anything. He can't move. He can't escape. He can't do anything if he goes into that doll state. Is that how his powers work, or you know I don't know. And then, I had this theory, right? I was thinking about it. And, the very, very beginning of the movie, he chokes out that guy with the yo-yo string, right? And, he obviously has some strength behind him. He's just fucking yanking on that thing. And it's just like, how strong is Chucky? Is he as strong as his human body was? And if so, is he as dense as his human body? Because there's no way if you threw a shoe at him like Andy did later on in the movie that he would have just fell over. If he was like 150 pounds, just fucking 2.5 feet of just 150 pounds, that you wouldn't even be able to pick him up. But yet he's still strong enough to like move shit and pick up shit and hold shit. So like, how strong is Chucky? And how does his strength work? I don't know. Like, it's one of those loophole kind of things, or not loophole, plot hole things, where it's just like, man, like they never really explain how Chucky really works.
That is his catchphrase. Don't fuck with, don't fuck with the Chuck.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, those are pretty much all my favorite scenes for the most part. Least favorite?
Least favorite. Mm. Oh. Ooh.
What?
Anytime that what is it, Sergeant or the guy came out just being a teenager being a dick.
Oh, what was his name? Cameron or freaking? It's right here. Sheldon. Yeah.
I don't
Any
know, it's
scene
the
with
scenes are
Sheldon?
just, yeah, character wise does not really count as a scene, but
Yeah, I'm trying to like think. You know, um, I wouldn't say it's like a least favorite scene, but it's one of those. It's a scene that was like, it was kind of creative. It was almost making fun of itself, but at the same time, it was like kind of cheesy. And it was just like, it was a good middle. Like, I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know if I should be laughing of how cheesy it was, or how like, or if I should just be mad that it was just so dumb and why was it in the movie. But the way that that old colonel died whenever Chucky pulled out the knife on him, and then he had a heart attack and died. And even Chucky was like, "What the fuck? Like, really?"
mm,
And
couldn't let him enjoy his kill. Nope.
yeah, so like, I thought it was kind of lame, but I also thought it was pretty funny.
Just
That
falls over.
happened, because it was almost making fun of itself. Like a parody of. I've never seen that in a horror movie. I've never seen anyone just die from a heart attack from something popping out at them. Like, it was pretty creative, but it was also kind of like, I don't know, kind of lame. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think of like,
Um, could have done away with the the perverted character who got off with cutting people's hair.
oh yeah, that guy. That guy was
Like he
fucking weird.
just like was kind of out of place. I was like, what? All right, we're gonna put this guy in this movie.
I think the kid who played Sullivan. No, that's not him. Sullivan was someone different. Whitehurst. Maybe that's the one. But basically, the kid that played the glasses, kid with the glasses. I really hated his reaction, like, to. Okay, well, I thought it was pretty dumb that because this kid was shocked, that Andy was like, "Hey man, what happened? You saw him, right? You saw the killer doll." And it's just like, yes, that's the only reason he'd be freaked out. Not maybe he got bullied a bunch, or that someone put fucking jam in his fucking shoe or something. Like, no, like, it had to be he saw Chucky do some Chucky shit. That's the only reason he was freaked out. And then on top of that, after he calls him out, this kid's just like, "No man, just like drop it, leave it alone, man. Like, fuck that." And it's just like, dude, there's someone who will believe you. Who believes you that there's this doll that's alive because he told you about it? You didn't believe him, but it's fucking there. and you are now being a fucking little bitch and not just getting your shit together and just being like, hey, you're right. I did fucking see him. We need to fucking do something about this. I saw him fucking kill fucking. They never even addressed that guy dying, but I guess everything kind of ends like right after that scene in a sense. The movie kind of doesn't really go into daytime after that scene. But yeah, that was pretty much the only part that annoyed me. Like, he kind of made up for it by jumping on the grenade later, but like, he probably wouldn't have had to jump on the grenade if he just wasn't being such a little bitch to begin with. That's all I had to say about that.
It's like, just oh man, like he sees him, Chucky pretty much killing that the barber and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then he just goes into like, because they're already going to the paintball, like getting ready to do that whole game, the war games.
Yeah, and like, what
And
sense does that even make? Like, you just saw a murder. Instead of just going to your bunk or freaking hiding or calling everyone, hey man. Well, I think everyone probably would have thought he was crazy. So that's why he didn't go out and be like, fucking killer doll. I get it. Don't cry wolf, because no one's going to believe you. But at least the one guy who will believe you, get that guy on your back, man. Formulate a plan. Y'all were in the same bunk, the same tent. Like, y'all could have prepared together. Instead, you jumped on a grenade and died.
What's up?
What's up? I mean, that's that, and then, I guess the other question I have, and it's more of a plot hole than a dislike, which I think we need to do a plot hole section.
Plot hole section.
Maybe we'll just add it into dislikes, because no one really likes plot holes. How did Chucky wrap himself and ship himself?
Well, I know in the further movies he has Tiffany helping him out. I don't know if that's a spoiler. That's a big spoiler to anyone. But
Tiffany helping him out.
Yeah. Oh, later movies, yeah. But with this, he'd have to have someone like a middleman or something like that. I can't remember how he did in the original movies.
Right. Like, I mean, that's the only. Like what? Like what? How did that work? He's a doll who can walk and talk. Did he walk up to a hobo and was like, "Hey guy, I'll give you $20 if you wrap me up in this box and put me in that mailbox"?
Oh, I mean, he probably asked him all nicely. It's like, "Oh, you listen here, little shit."
But like, he's still a talking doll.
Boy.
Like, who is he gonna get to ship him? Like, who's just gonna like get a talking doll and be like, "Yeah, whatever you say, Mr. Talking Doll"? Like,
it has to be one of his old buddies from when he was killing people or stealing.
Like, Chucky has very human attributes, like bleeding and having like skin underneath the plastic, like human skin. But does he need to breathe?
Doesn't need to breathe. So technically, if he wears a mask, he won't suffocate.
Like, he was in this box for who knows how long, getting shipped across the country. I'm pretty sure he didn't have much oxygen. I don't know. These are all the plot holes. These are the plot holes, man. Now, how strong is Chucky? Does he need air to survive? And how the fuck did he ship himself?
Does he piss or shit? I mean,
oh, and the ending I didn't like. I didn't like how Barkley went to jail, and like that's pretty much the ending. I feel like he was blamed for the killings somehow in the end. So it's just like, fuck, man. This kid's had it rough since his childhood, and now he's getting arrested and getting booked into the system. Like,
going home from home.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know, man. But yeah. What's after least favorite thing?
Um, it is slogans.
Oh, slogans. All right. So the slogan for this movie is dun 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 dun. There comes a time to put away childhood things, but some things won't stay put. The other little slogan underneath, the mini slogan says, "Look who's stalking." I'm imagining it came out during the Look Who's Talking TV series or movie series. Look Who's Talking, Look Who's Talking To, and I don't remember the last one. There's like 3 of them. You know what movies I'm talking about?
Oh,
Sandra Bullock and frickin' who the frick was the other main actor? I don't remember, but someone who was famous back in the day. Not Mel Gibson. Someone around
not
that
Mel
area.
Gibson.
Yeah, but that's pretty funny. So my slogan would be, "Your boy Chucky's gonna be a bro."
Mm, he was really that desperate to go. Mm,
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Child's Play 3. Desperate Times Call for Desperate Measures. Um, new body, new me. Something stupid like
New body, new me.
that.
Let me see. Child's Play 3. The third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Um, Child's Play 3.
The third time to harm. I like it.
Third time's.
Child's Play 3. What does he say when he sees Andy making out with that one chick, De Silva? Did he say like, "Man, I wish I had my body back," or what did he say, man?
Oh, and he's like, oh, I really need to switch bodies.
Yeah, something like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, I think this is a
John
reply to your.
Travolta, yes, that's right. What you just said, Matt, is correct. It was Sandra Bullock and John Travolta, and Look Who's Talking. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're making fun of that and the slogan. The "Look Who's Stalking." That's pretty funny. You got any more?
You got any more comments or slogans? Keep it up, Nick. Catch you later. Maybe I'll check
Hey
out your
Matt,
next
you don't have a slogan you want to throw in for Child's Play 3 before you leave? Oh, while he's thinking about that, Child's Play 3.
Child's Play 3.
You never outgrow your toys.
Child's Play 3. Anyone can control a dumpster truck. It's me.
That's the one. Child's Play 3. Oh, you don't remember Child's Play 3? You know what? Like for
you've seen one, you've
reasons,
seen all of them.
What?
I say you've seen one of them, you've seen them all. Nah, not
man,
necessarily.
Three's the best because he has the best punchlines in that one, or he has the best lines in that one. If you're looking for dialogue. Whatchamacallit? Let's see. Man, I was about to say, how does he say omelette du fromage? Child's Play, omelette du fromage, or whatever he chants.
You know, a good comparison to like how Chucky is, like his humor and everything in this movie that he like they just kind of boost up throughout the movies. It reminds me of how Freddy Krueger is in A Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it
was
was
about to-
Dream Warriors where he gets more humorous, the one-liners.
Yeah, I was about to say what you just said. When you said, you know who he reminds me of, Freddy Krueger pops into my head immediately. I don't know, man. Like, how can you really say you have a good 80s, late 80s, early 90s movie without bad catchphrases and like one-liners? Like, that was that era of time. Everyone had bad catchphrases and one-liners, and that was like, that shit made those movies what they were. Like, one of the most ones that I remember the most for some dumb reason is the one from Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's number 3, the Dream Warriors, or it might be number 4. Oh, no. You know what it is? It's fucking Freddy Krueger versus or Freddy
Freddy
versus
versus Jason.
Jason, where he does the got your nose. Such a stupid line. I always find it funny. All right, slogans, and then is this the hottest girl one?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
how we would have ended it.
You always want to skip to that one.
What?
So you always want to skip to that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was only one girl. I mean, there was 2
No,
girls,
yeah.
but like, they only really highlighted one girl in the entire movie.
How we have ended it. So the
How we
initial ending to this movie, during the little amusement ride carnival. I mean, it's amusement park carnival type of thing. It's like a horror roller coaster ride or whatever.
Hey, did you just call me a whore?
I called you a horror. So I'm trying to go into detail. I can't remember detail by detail. I just know that Andy, he had Chucky on top of him. Tyler gives him the little knife blade, cuts off his hand.
Yeah, a knife this big cuts, through an entire arm, doll wrist.
It was enough to cut it. But he throws him actually, or he just falls after his hand gets chopped off.
That was the problem. He was trying to throw him off, but he had, I guess, fucking Chucky strong as shit.
The grip.
He had a death grip, but he chopped off his hand, and he had no more hands because he blew off his arm with the gun. So he's just like, "There's nothing to hold off to now, bitch."
Ah! Throw him in little flam blades. Yeah, he just dies like the gruesomest way.
Yeah, I mean, sorry guys, I mean to yawn. I mean, I would have felt better if freaking Andy didn't get arrested, and actually was treated more like a hero. I mean, that, you just don't really know what happened to him. Like, it could be anything, I was watching it with one of my friends, and they were like, I was like, man, that sucks. You never really get to know what happens to Andy. And from the looks of it, he's about to go to jail. He's probably about to get pinned for all these murders. And they're like, well, there's like multiple witnesses that saw like a live doll. They got Tyler, and then you got De Silva for sure. Tyler, they could say, he's young, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But De Silva, you're gonna say that she doesn't, she's lying. And I was just like, I guess, that makes you feel a little better, but still, like, I don't know, it just feels like it's a crappy way to kind of end this. And it's the ending of the series, if you want to get realistic. So I feel like there's no closure, really. Like, yeah, Chucky does, for all intents and purposes, die. But then, the hero of the story of the trilogy goes to jail. And it's just like, it's kind of shitty. So yeah, that's probably what I would have changed, that he killed Chucky the way he still did, and he got to walk away from all of it without, those movies where like they kill the person in the end, and then they like kind of limp out the last two people, and then the credits roll and they're like walking out of like whatever, like the haunted house or something, and that's the ending of the movie. Like you kind of feel good about that. They got through the entire thing,
Mm,
and they got to walk away from it, and that's how I would have imagined, him and Tyler and De Silva just walking away from the whole thing, and Eddie, Chucky,
Tyler, don't Chucky.
one of Chucky's hands just like pop up out of nowhere or something, or maybe even like gives a zoom in back to all of the body parts, and then you can see like his hand moving around, and then that's the end. Maybe something like that. But like, I don't know. Andy going to jail felt like that was whack.
I would have, because Chucky didn't attempt. He didn't get to attempt the. I'm trying to remember. I don't think he attempted again to get the switch body, did he? On Tyler,
What do you mean?
like towards the end of the movie, did he do another attempt? I think
Yeah,
he
he was
just.
trying to get in his body again. Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe
Omelette du fromage, give me the power, I beg of you. Omelette du fromage.
that's the thing about that thing. It takes too long to it's the process of it happening.
Yeah,
Um.
who expects to be trying to switch a body while someone's shooting a gun at them? Like,
So
you
what are you
should
doing?
you should feel like you have ample time to switch bodies with somebody.
It's like that process, that whole long process. It reminds me of Dragon Ball Z when they summon Shenron. They take forever to do a damn wish.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or just power up. That's why it reminds me of Dragon Ball Z.
I think I would go with a more twisted ending and kill off Tyler. Just say what?
Mm.
Like not even to be like a purpose, like on purpose kill. It's more like an accidental kill.
Yeah, or even
then
you
and he
know
goes
what would have been a
berserk.
really would have been a fucked up ending is that at the very end, right before, you know, whenever Andy finally shot Chucky off of Tyler, and he goes up and he asks Tyler like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then like, let's say like the gunshot knocked him out, and Andy grabbed him and threw him in the fan blade to chop him up into pieces, and then they're leaving. And as they're leaving, Tyler turns around and winks at the camera. And
Looks at the camera.
yeah, it
He
turned
got to
out
switch the body.
he got to twist the body in the end. Yeah,
Happy ending for Chucky.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have made me feel better too. Um, now it would have completely killed any future franchise of of them having like Siege Chucky and all that. But
So let's say if they do continue that way, who would their future Tyler be casted as? I'm
hmm.
trying to see who would be a good.
Are we talking about someone back then or someone now?
I don't know about currently, but I'd say like they do. See, I think Bride Chucky they did like 7 years after this movie. Like it's a like a time jump. So I mean, let's say
Yeah,
it was the next movie,
let's see.
then it's Tyler going on as a killer. And I would
You
say in that
know,
movie, his body's like all like damaged, or whatever. I don't know how this rule is, or he can like switch bodies multiple times he
Will
needs.
Smith.
Will Smith, Chris Rock, no man. It's all Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I was thinking Denzel at first, but Denzel's too strict of an actor. Like you need someone that's willing to be like kind of funny, but also be taken serious when he's serious. Uh,
Um, what about what's his name? Candyman for his the actor's
oh,
name.
that guy. Yeah, he probably would have played a good one.
Just have a whole, just make it up a whole new sequel.
Um,
No.
Man, that's a really good question, man. Good job. It got me thinking.
It's not part of the segment. How we would end it. How we would have made a sequel.
Right? Like who would have played Tyler in the sequel? Frick it, Dave Chappelle. Fuck it. Just kidding.
Dave
I don't
Chappelle.
know.
Rick James, bitch.
What?
They said Rick James, bitch. So,
Or we could even
um,
do like 20 years later, and Tyler's like Tyler. Chucky's jumped from multiple bodies already. You know, to just because he can.
savage.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think any ending besides Andy going back to jail, or not really going back to jail, but just going to jail. The twist ending with Tyler being Chucky taking over the body, or Tyler dying and Andy going, Andy going berserk and kept taking out Chucky. Yeah, it's somehow where we would have ended it. Next segment is, I believe, Fuentes' favorite segment.
You're the one who made it up. Those are my favorites.
It's your favorite because you're always like, "What's next? Is this the hottest one?" Like, take it down.
Like
It's not
Chucky
done
was the
yet.
hottest one, man.
Chucky.
Non-binary, bro.
Oh, look at that hair! It's all the freaking barber, and he's all about to give him the haircut.
I mean, obviously De Silva. Like, who was the other chick? Hold on, let me look her up real
The
quick.
Silva,
Uh,
God.
the other
Unless you
chick's
want to throw in
name.
that the chick at the way began, the older woman in the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have very
Or
many females to pick from this movie.
but yeah, the overall De Silva was the hottest one. She not only was she the hottest one, she was the badass of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
And if
Oh, here it is. Donna S. She only played in my. She doesn't even have a picture on IMDb.
no picture.
She must just not be fortunate. But yeah, De Silva, she was a badass. Um, it was one of my, I guess I don't want to say favorite parts, but one part that I thought was funny was whenever he she calls out Sheldon for being an asshole, and then Sheldon tells her to do 25 push-ups, and she does all 25 push-ups, and she gets up with just giant smile on her face, like, yeah, I got
Some
him.
bitch. You got nothing on me.
Right?
Yeah, just so no one calls me on it. She may not have been legal in the movie, the character, but the actress in real life, when she did the movie, she was definitely legal. I just want to
Yeah, she was
confirm that.
21, right?
She was like around 2021.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good under the hood.
That was the hottest.
The hottest. Who's the hottest?
Who's the hottest? So full 360. You spin around that.
What's the next
Oh,
segment?
that was pretty much the end of the segments.
Oh, that was it?
The next segment is guess Franco's favorite scene, and Franco's favorite scene was definitely the scene where Sheldon he's like, where he's telling Andy about the gun. This is a gun or whatever, and
This
or
is my
he like he
rifle. This is my gun.
this
This
was my
one's for.
gun.
What do you say? This one's my rifle.
So
This one's my
for
gun.
fun.
This one's to kill, and this one's for fun. I don't know what the hell he said.
But he just grabs his crotch.
He grabs his crotch.
So I looked at my brother. I was like, "Oh, this is definitely Frankel's favorite scene right here."
We're playing hide the soul.
Hide the soul.
Uh, trying to look. Dude, it has to be like one of the most quoted things in this movie. Just like the good old days. Nothing like a good strangulation to get the circulation going. Don't fuck with the Chuck. Whenever he jumps out of the box, who the fuck are you? I thought good guys only said 3 sentences. I'm new and improved.
I'm new and improved. Who the fuck is this guy? What the? Thought you were a
You know
good
what?
guy. I'm a
Fuck
bad
it.
guy.
This is the part where we go back and we make sure that the rating is the same rating we gave it in the beginning, or if we decided to change it. And I'm giving this one a 4.
Oh, you went back.
I went back. It's
How
getting
dare
a
you.
4. Like, I mean, it just has
Savage.
such great one-liners, man. Like, it's just so funny to me. Like, whoever wrote this was mad because I think it was at the point where it's just like, what's the point of a fucking third movie? I think that's what really came down to. They were just like, okay, well, what are we gonna do in the third movie? I was like, oh well, he could go try and find Andy again. All right, cool. Where's Andy? He's in a military school. Cool. Well, we're not doing a backstory no more because a lot of every first movie, you can watch the whole movie in a sense because they're telling a story. It's usually an origin story about something or someone. So it's pretty easy to kind of like, there's a lot of mystery involved. Who is this murderer? Why are they murdering people? Why are these weird things happening? And usually it gets explained during the first one. And so there's mystery, and then the mystery gets solved. So first ones are usually pretty solid. That's why usually second movies kind of tank because you don't have an origin story no more. You already told the story of who is. And so anytime the second movie usually comes out, it's like, well, okay, we can't really tell a second origin story because we already told in the beginning. And so they try to fill it in with, random shit. And most people see right through that. And they're just like, oh, they only just made another movie because they made a lot of money off the first one. But the third one, at this point, they're not even close to the origin story at all. They're just like, what do we even do here? And all it was dialogue, just a bunch of dialogue. And to me, that was great. Chucky did some pretty fucked up things in this movie, and he had to because it's the third movie. He's already done heinous acts of murder. So, like, you have to get creative, bro. And they got creative. They killed the guy in the dump. They killed the guy in the dump truck. They killed the guy with the yo-yo. The guy had a heart attack before he died.
Without killing a guy.
What?
I say killed a guy without even having to kill a guy. Was that good?
Who was that?
No, say Chuck. He killed the freaking. He killed the guy when he had a heart attack. He said he killed a guy without having to kill a guy. That's how good he is.
Oh yeah, with the heart attack. And then switching out the bullets in the rifle for the gun game. Like I thought those are new ideas. Like I've never. Those are fresh ideas, and they were good. I liked them. It's a watchable movie too, just because of all the one-liners. Because you have to be able to laugh at Chucky. And just his little stupid things like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "I thought you only said 3 sentences." Like, new and improved.
If his one-liners don't get you, his laugh will get you. His laugh is contagious.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a 4. It's a movie that if someone were to ask me, what can I watch on a rainy day? Fucking watch Child's Play 3, man. You'll get it. It's not the best movie ever, but you'll get a laugh at it. And if you need a laugh and you want to watch a horror movie, watch Child's Play 3. It'll make you smile or make you laugh somehow. Because even the effects aren't that cheesy. Like nothing about that movie was really cheesy. If I'm gonna be honest. The only part to me that looked like really fake was whenever he split that the barber's throat. like the blood you can tell was like that corn syrup mixture of blood or whatever. The blood color didn't look right. It looked a little off. The consistency didn't look right. That was the only one where I was just like, okay, that looks a little cheesy. But everything else, I thought was pretty solid.
It's like deal or no deal. Does my rating change? It's like no.
I mean, it doesn't have to change.
Oh man, yeah, it
I was-
doesn't. It's just like
I'm just giving y'all the reason why mine changed. I mean, Nick's doesn't have to change. But
I think
mine
that's
is,
gonna
it
come
is
in
a
new
little bit.
it's gonna be a new segment. Like, does your rating change now?
Did your rating change? Yeah. I mean, because
Little timer.
I felt like that segment would have been really useful when it was me, Manny, Franco, and you. Just because, like, after all three of us or all four of us give our opinions about a movie, you can kind of see those side of the stories. You're kind of like, okay, you know what? I can see why, Saul gave this a 4, but and I only gave it a 3, type of shit. And you can kind of go back and be like, you know what? I'll bump it up a half a star, 3.5, because he did make them, like what you said the other day. He makes some compelling points. I'll give it a 4 too. But no, I mean, I think it's just an all around fun movie to watch. Like, I wouldn't say it's the best movie, but it's definitely an entertaining movie to watch. So yeah. So is this the reveal for the next week or the next 2 weeks movie we're gonna review?
This is the reveal. So this movie is on Tubi, but I don't think it's gonna be on there for too long. So you gotta watch while you can. And hopefully this movie it will bait in. Hopefully it'll bait in a Manny Fresh. Hopefully, maybe
Is it
not.
Jeepers Creepers 3 or 2?
No, it is not that. But it was a movie that he wanted to review at one point, but he had to choose another movie. The movie I'm talking about is a movie called Darkness Falls. You wanted to review that movie, but it wasn't available anywhere. So this is kind of an open invitation to Manny if he wants to jump in.
Manuel.
If not, then I'd always review it.
Man, I've been wanting you to review a movie and you haven't, so now I'm gonna have to pick it. Maybe I'll talk to you offline and see what you think, because I don't want to say it right now and then you get mad.
Then I get mad.
And you're like, oh fuck, I wanted that movie, you fucking dickhead. You did say you wanted to remove it or review it. Either you or Franco said y'all wanted to review it, but y'all are saving it. And now would be a better time than any to review the movie soon. Also, shout out to Cinnamon Podcast, who also do movie reviews. They recently released their top 5 Marvel. Before that, they did the top 5 Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Definitely check these guys out. I like them. I've been listening to some of their podcasts, and you can tell these guys. I'm not saying we're not real cinephiles. Honestly, I think Nick and Manny are way more cinephiles, at least than me. I don't know about Franco, but they usually have a lot of like random facts and stuff about movies and stuff. I always thought that was cool.
The fun facts
about them, that they kind of know all these things about movies. I'm just a consumer. I just watch movies and I tell you what I think. I can't get any detailed about a lot of this shit because I don't know if y'all know much about the bad guy, but he is a horror fanatic. He loves horror movies and pretty much anything to do with horror. So, when he got put on this podcast, I thought was really cool because after kind of getting to know him a little bit more and meeting him in person, his whole room is decked out and like horror related stuff. And I just think it's pretty awesome to have someone who's such a big fan of horror reviewing horror stuff now too. Me, I like horror, but Nick loves horror. But yeah, I don't know why I started talking about that, but But yeah, I mean, it's just I honestly forgot what I was talking about. What the hell was I talking about?
When you were giving a shout out and you're shouting me up.
Oh yeah, I was doing the cinnamon. Those guys are also cinephiles.
Oh boy.
And they actually, you can tell they know what they're talking about when they're reviewing movies, and they get really deep into their conversation. So I mean, the
The Cinnamon Movie Podcast.
movie podcast. No, I didn't forget their names. I just every time I say it, it reminds me of the word cinnamon, and I'm just like,
Cinnamon
dude, it's
tongue twister.
cinnamon, and it's just like the spice, and it's like
Spice.
but they mean cinna, like cinema, cinna,
Cinema.
cinnamon.
Never cinema.
But yeah, I mean, check out their podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on pretty much any major streaming. Anywhere you find this podcast, you'll find their podcast. Oh, and Nick, weren't you supposed to do something special about something that y'all talked about, you and Franco?
Something special. Well,
Or were we waiting for that?
We're still on the process of waiting. I wasn't given the details, the deets, but just to throw it out there, this was initially going to be a spots. The stream was going to be the reveal of our giveaway for the Saw 4K Blu-ray steelbook. But because Franco's not here, we can't reveal it, and he didn't give me the names. I could look a raffle. I mean, it's kind of my on my end too. I mean, he could have told me this stuff if I asked, but we'll reveal it sometime, maybe tomorrow, or even if
okay.
Frank wants
Give
availability.
it to me. I'm the winner.
So if you're tuning in, like, oh, hey, what the fuck?
Thank y'all.
No one's gonna be cheated though. We're gonna give you that.
We're gonna give you that steel case book. I'm back.
We're gonna give it to you, but yeah, that was supposed to be the big announcement, reveal, whatever. But to close off this this fun
I'm the hottest.
stream.
Who's the hottest?
Oh yeah, let me take that off. I mean, I have been the bad guy, Nick H. You can follow me at.
What are we reviewing again? Darkness Falls.
God damn it. We're reviewing Darkness Falls. Yes, because I was watching some other movies and I was like, oh hey, there's that movie that Manny wanted to review, and I haven't seen it in a long time.
Man, I wish we were so cool and did the trailers. I need to get good internet so I can pull that stuff up.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, you can follow me at AK2313 on Twitter. I was about to say Insta. No, you can follow me there, but I made a new account where I'll be sharing my collection of horror stuff or wrestling stuff if you're into that. It's called The Bad Guy 2313. Yes.
And I am Mr. Fuentes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Mr. Fuentes361. I am also a rapper, music artist. You can check me out on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to music. And just search Mr. Fuentes, the name that you see on the screen right here. And if it's not on the screen, it's Mr. Fuentes. Yeah. And thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. I hope you had fun listening to mine and Nick's witty banter. It was fun. I really did enjoy going back and watching this movie. It did bring back a lot of nostalgia. And to be honest, I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me, but I think it still holds up from when it was made to now. So I think it was pretty dope. So yeah, thank y'all for joining us on that, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right, folks.
Peace.
Always bad and the bad guy.